It is April 14, 2024. Hello, Linty and Analog Synth Player and Moss and Andrew and Cecilia and Anthony and Barb in Ohio and T. Lamb, thank you. Let's see. Alicia, did I say hello? I don't think so. Shauna Howard, hi. Tom, hi. So I'm just going to do a quick radar check. Okay, Pennsylvania. Okay. You've got those red supercells coming at you. Maybe even coming at, New York, Long Island. But I always get nervous when we see that line suddenly manifest into supercells. So be very careful, you guys in Pennsylvania. And if they don't stop it right at the border, then be careful, New York on into Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Yeah, I want to show you that we are absolutely at war, whether, it doesn't need to be those conventional bombs that they drop on us. It could very well be electromagnetic frequency bombs that they drop on us. And this was early this morning at 6:48. Look at that. Wow. That's a wow. I'm not sure I've ever seen it so ferocious down here in the South, but wow. How are you feeling, you guys? From Louisiana all the way into North Carolina. California, you've got to have flooding there. I checked earlier today. I didn't see anything. I just checked YouTube, though. Flooding has to be occurring because this rain, and the frequency holdup of the precipitation, letting it pound away in specific areas. But look at this. Wow. Wow. It's a wowza. It's a wallapalooza. I don't even know what to call it. But if you're not feeling well in this section of the country, well, this could explain it. Extremely low frequencies. They affect us physically, mentally, spiritually, psychically, emotionally. Not good. Not good at all. Rick Yorkin, Super Dave, Oracle 11, Joy, Stephanie. Hi. Yeah, the wind here is very strange. Very strange. Never windy in the morning. Very windy in the afternoon. Oh, I don't want to present myself today. Donna Davidson, hello. Mike Luft, hi. The 90s Brooklynite, hey. So you got hail in Pennsylvania, Rick? You were on a boat when the hail went over? Oh, well, Stephanie, it says I have an excellent connection. Let's see how long that lasts. But you're having internet issues, sits and spins. Not a surprise. Well, Rick, I thank you. I thank you. That's nice to hear. I don't think I'm the best, but it's nice to hear, especially when you're down. So Sherry will not be moderating any longer. The GoFundMe has been closed down. And I'm going to give Sherry until tomorrow night if she wants to post a video explaining to you guys what happened. Otherwise, I will tomorrow night. And I have not... There's a kennel behind this house. And there's dogs on either side of the house. And there's dogs all over. And they're outdoors. And the barking is incessant. And I've been up since 3 o'clock. I didn't know that dogs could bark incessantly for hours and hours and hours and hours. But they do. They sure do. I mean, these dogs went from the time I woke up at 3 until about 6 in the morning. It was like, wow. You go, dogs. You go. Hi, Shannon. You hope everyone is doing well. Count me out. My hunch is that I could probably count some of you out too. Hammered by wind, yeah. It's, it gets to the point where it's just like, and you can't get away from it. You know, remember when the wind, if it was windy, then you would just walk to the side of the building, anything to, you know, get out of the wind. I don't know about you guys, but there ain't no way to get out of the wind here. Not in Arizona, where I am. Huh. All right, so I just want to, this is a, it's been a long-term subscriber, and I want to read his comment here. And boy, do I feel you, GeoFactor 3. I'm going to put it out there. I am close to 70 years of age, healthy, active. During the you-know-what, I stood my ground and lost everything. I am now living with a relative in North Carolina and must find my own place. If anyone is aware of an apartment or a house to rent under $1,000 a month in Wake County. Wake County, is that western North Carolina? Why am I guessing? All right. Please respond to this comment. Housing is extremely difficult to find, but something will open up, and thanks for reading. Okay, GeoFactor 3. I hope somebody responds. I really hope somebody responds, because you know what? None of us should be going through this. None of us. None of us. And we are going through it. So we need to band together. We need to help one another, for sure. I don't know if GeoFactor 3, you know, is under the same kind of pressures as I was looking for a place, you know, needing a cosigner, having 3 cats, yada, yada, yada. So if anybody does know, oh wow. If anybody does know, Wake County, North Carolina, GeoFactor 3 needs his own place. Well, or her own place. It's been quite a trip on the internet. You never know who is who. Oh, Wake County is Raleigh. Oh, okay. All right. Oh. I thought maybe Western North Carolina he'd have a shot, or she'd have a shot. But Raleigh area, my hunch is that it's probably up there. Rick, who gets held accountable for anything anymore? Okay, so why don't we start here?
For this clown. Oh, wait, maybe not. Hold on. You're starting to shoot the colors out. This is bad. Yeah, look at this. Here we go again, the same deal. I have not seen this much stuff coming out. And I can't tell you how long. Look at this. Can you see through the camera? Look at this.
Oh, what? Look at that. Oh, my God. That was great.
I know, but we're breathing this filth.
Oh, my God. Because he turned it up over here. It was nice over here.
Yeah, he did.
He turned on more nozzles.
I got a nozzle for him.
Look at that. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah, you tell me that's water vapor, guys. You're being lied to. Your climate change is being delivered to you like a soft serve cone, ice cream cone. Look at this. You sound like Deagle. Yeah, Dr. Deagle. Look at this. Okay. Send this video to people you know.
I will post the link. You can send it to people you know. Yeah. We are absolutely 100% every single day we live the 6 psychopathic subhuman entities who are killing us off. Poison everything. I don't know. I should upset everybody, right? And here, another one. Oh, this one was Derek Bros. Wow. Shared this 7 hours ago, 2 likes. I think I'm shadow banned. Yeah, I'd say you are, Derek, along with a lot of us. I just go to Twitter to, you know, it's a good place to get the most, excuse me, current information. But, yeah, welcome to the New World Order, where anybody who's talking the truth have their voices muffled. Watch until the end. Rest assured, it's not just the UK, but it is for sure the UK.
Okay, all day today, it's about 1 in the afternoon. Skies have been crystal clear, okay? Crystal clear. Planes flying across the sky all day long. But now, all of a sudden, what you're about to witness, okay? They all are starting to come now. Crisscross applesauce, all up in here. You're going to see what's going to happen to these crystal clear blue skies, okay? Remember, planes have been flying all day. And then all of a sudden, these guys. Boy, that's kind of weird. It's getting a little hazy 2 hours later. It's so strange. It's like, why wasn't it hazy earlier with all the planes flying and now it's hazy? Because the temperature hasn't changed. It's weird. And there it is, at the end of the day. A nice overcast. Southern Utah. Oh,
Breathe it in.
There you go. All right. Shootings. Emergency crews on the scene after multiple children and others have been shot in a mass shooting. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. Another raw alert. Active shooter is reportedly live streaming himself, armed with numerous firearms, shooting from a roof as bullets whiz by. Police, Marina del Rey, California. No, this video won't play. So, I'll put the link in if you want to see the bullets whiz by the police. You think something has changed in our fabulous country? Full of so many spiritual, peaceful, joyful Americans.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
The main reason we went into Iraq, I believe, my opinion, was to stop Saddam Hussein from backing the dinar with gold, thus unseating the petrodollar from the OPEC agreement. And then we had to do the same to Libya and Syria and Lebanon and Yemen. We're going to do it to Iran too, because the bankers want to protect the right to print these worthless trash paper currency units, so other countries have to use them to buy oil. And if they choose to use something other than the US dollar, well, $850 billion military comes their way.
Say the weird thing.
I would have thought everybody would know this by now. It's never about what they say it's about. It for sure is not about justice or anything like that, these wars. Yeah, and the warring just continues and continues and continues. And Rick, I have to tell you, it would be torture for me. It would be absolute torture if I were jailed and they were playing The View over and over and over again. All right, so Tucker interviewed, and look, it's not about Tucker Carlson, okay? And as I've said often, it's for me about who is being interviewed by these people. And he interviewed a pastor, Palestinian Christian, about the Christians don't really have it quite right.
With Muntar Isak, who's a Palestinian pastor in Bethlehem, and it got a lot of people on the right very upset.
If you wake up in the morning and decide that your Christian faith requires you to support a foreign government blowing up churches and killing Christians, I think you've lost the thread. Just to end on this, if you had a message for Christian leaders in the United States, whether in government or in churches or just citizens who care about the religion and their fellow Christians, what would it be?
It would be to remind them that when the state of Israel was created, it was not created on an empty land. It was created on a land that had millions of indigenous Palestinians there, including Palestinian Christians. And that state they support, that state they celebrated as a fulfillment of prophecy and a sign of God's state to the Jewish people. For it to become a state, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, including Palestinian Christians, were forced to leave and have never returned. Churches were closed. A friend of mine did a research and counted more than 30 churches that were closed when Israel was created because Palestinians were expelled from the land. Our numbers continue to be in decline. So we're pleading that come and listen, come and talk to us. And my message to Christian leaders right now is there is a very, very brutal war taking place in Gaza, a war that I described using the word genocide because it's a war that has used even starvation as a mean. And fellow Christians are suffering because of that war. It's time that Christian leaders recognize that wars is not the way, whether in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya. When will we learn that war does not help? When will we take Jesus' words seriously about being peacemakers, about being merciful? There must be other ways. And so it would be an invitation to listen, to learn more, and to avoid very shallow and simplistic perspectives that are not based on scripture itself, but more based on political equations. And I would plea right now, and I will continue to plead that we need to stop this war in Gaza. It's killing many, many children, women, innocent lives. It has to stop. There must be other ways. And as a follower of Christ, we have to pursue the path of peace and justice, and we have to avoid simplistic polarizations, good and evil. Come and listen, come and understand what's happening. And I plead as a Christian pastor from Bethlehem, I plead that you come and listen.
Wow. I mean, just I've known Tucker for years, like when he was a sort of just a voice of Republic.
All right, I'm going to put the link in if they're going to be talking about Tucker. I'm not interested. But yeah, we've got a lot wrong in the individual brains of a majority of the collective. I mean, it's pretty frightening. Can I just say, Daryl, you were blocked for a reason. You don't have to come in now under another name and kind of take over the chat.
Anna, Senator, welcome back to Fox. Fox News Sunday.
No audio. I'm not feeling very good tonight. So yeah, all I was saying is, during congressional hearings, you listen to this guy and he makes a lot of sense. He makes a lot of sense about the gender issue and the immigration issue. But what comes of it? Nothing, of course, because the congressional hearings, as far as I'm concerned, is theater for the delusional Americans to make sure they always maintain their delusion. On Iran, Iran did not attack Israel. Iran responded to Israel's attack on Iran in another country, attacking their consulate, killing 2 generals. But of course, you're not going to hear that from some psychopathic politician in America. It doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican. These people disgust me at this point.
Okay, so your response to the calls by, listen, there are Democrats and Republicans, and you heard Admiral Kirby say that they want that Senate package to get done. The Speaker hasn't moved it in the House. What's your message to both of these bicameral institutions today?
Well, I think my position is pretty clear. I love Israel. I despise Putin. I despise the Communist Party of China. And I despise the Ayatollah in Iran. I don't want America to be the world's policeman, but I don't want those guys to be the world's policeman either. And with those guys, if you turn the other cheek, you just get it in the neck.
And we turn the other cheek? Is that what this... Ooh. Is that what he's saying? We turn the other cheek? Then you get it in the neck. All right. Just because this guy is wearing a suit and, well, here he sounds like a Southern American, and Americans can identify with this guy. He's a psychopathic war-mongering pig who does not care about the innocent lives. And he's on the wrong side. I so wish we could have gotten rid of these people.
Army in the world that acts in
the most moral army in the world. The IDF?
army in the world that acts in a more moral fashion than the army of Israel.
Wow! How many Palestinians have you killed?
I don't know, 20, 15. I don't count.
Guys, we're moving Gaza right now. I'm trying to eat my popsicle.
We your baby there.
You think it's funny?
Yeah, it's very funny.
Would you say that Israel is on track for a strategic victory in Gaza?
You want me to go first?
Oh no! Very good. Very good, okay? You love Palestine, I kill you.
Most of the people here are racist because we were taught to be.
Only America can help us. We need their support, not just in munitions, but we need them also to protect us in the UN Security Council. And we will need them even in The Hague. I want to thank President Biden for his unequivocal support. I want to thank the people and Congress of the United States of America. When Israel wins, the entire civilized world wins.
There is no babies left.
Evil versus good. Evil versus good. Evil versus good. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. A lot of American soldiers are just like that too. Just like it. Israel, U.S. Attached to the hip. Biden tells Bibi U.S. will not support a counter-attack against Iran after hundreds of drones, missiles sent. Well, that's a little odd because Biden, the day before this comes out, said our support is ironclad. I guess not so much ironclad. This is American support. Words spoken. Get ready for a false flag attack here. Iran's attack was a strategic failure? Well, that's coming from Channel 12 in Israel. Of course, they're going to say it was a failure. The official added in a threatening manner, now they can get ready and not sleep in peace. Biden White House appears to be strongly signaling to the Netanyahu government that the attack is done and that the United States will not back any follow-up counterattack operations against Iran. Biden told Netanyahu the U.S. will oppose any Israeli counterattack. The U.S. will not take part in any such counteraction. Israel has called on the United Nations Security Council meeting to condemn Iranian aggression. Okay. There are so many obviouses that when it's so flippin' obvious, it literally just makes me sick. I have a visceral response to just the enormity of that statement. Iranian aggression? While Israel's committing a genocide, bombing Syria, bombing Lebanon, bombing the Iranian consulate, killing 2 Iranian generals. It's their aggression? Hey, just whatever reality I want to fake, I get to. Because there's so many people who either don't care or will believe this, which is really remarkable. Biden said, you gotta win. You got a win. You got a win. Take the win. U.S. Secretary of State Lloyd Austin. I don't think he's Secretary of State. I think that's Blinken. I think Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense, spoke to his Israeli counterpart in Israel and asked that Israel notify the U.S. ahead of any response against Iran. Oh, and here are the videos and videos and videos and more videos. War, war, war. And the German foreign minister has condemned Iran's attack on Israel, saying it risks plunging the entire region into chaos. You gotta love those Westerners, huh? Yeah. No, you don't. Disgusting. Disgusting. Breaking. This was from the President of Colombia. Quote, we are on the cusp of World War III, and the United States' support for genocide has set the world on fire. Yeah. USA, USA, USA. Israelis' reality in the last hours. Israel Defense Forces.
Hundreds of the most powerful missiles and drones direct. Iran fired hundreds of the most powerful missiles and drones directly at millions of Israelis. Iran has been attacking Israel for the past 45 years.
I'll post the link if you want to listen to all of the lies, okay? Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so done with this world. I am just so done with it. It's truly what we have manifested here on Earth. It's just flippin' frightening. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I don't like lying. I don't like lies. Biggest attack on Israel in history, 5 countries sending over hundreds of drones. I will link below to Richard Medhurst's video if you want to know some of the details on that attack.
Retaliatory response is in 3 steps. Good evening. My name is Richard Medhurst. Iran has launched retaliatory strikes against Israel. Hundreds of drones and missiles are headed to the Israeli occupation as we speak. These aren't just being fired from Iran. The entire region, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, are all hitting Israel with Iran as we speak. This is an unprecedented moment. We are witnessing history in the making. We are witnessing history in the making. Now, this is very important, so pay attention. Iran is not attacking Israel. Iran is responding to Israel's attack.
Oh, look at that. I think I said that.
Israel started this by bombing the Iranian embassy in Damascus. Bombing an embassy is like bombing the country itself because the embassy is considered the sovereign territory of that country.
That's exactly right. So, it's so funny. You know, I don't know if any of you experience this, but I do. We've been so programmed and socially engineered, you know, to never criticize Israel, and if you say anything about Israel, then you're anti-Semitic, which is so false, unbelievably false. Even if you say anything about Zionism, then you're anti-Semitic, which is so unbelievably false. And a lot of it, for me, you know, growing up in New York, most of my closest friends were Jews. Oh, it was a subject that I did try to approach, but no, you do not approach. Well, now I'm approaching it. And, you know, if we never ever offend, if we never ever, you know, say, maybe you should reconsider your position because it's not quite moral and not quite factually correct, then we are in part responsible for the people. They will never get any better. They will never develop. You know, one of the reasons why we do hold people accountable is because we care and we want not only them to be better, but the world to be better. So when we just shut up, you know, it's kind of like, you know, that's just not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do. But I'm still, when I was saying it's interesting, the programming, there's still this residual, you know, like, don't go there. No, I'm going there. Because it's right, and I know it's right. So Iran commander warns Israel on response to attack and says operation more successful than expected. Yes.
عملیات از نظر ما خاتمه یافته است و قصدی بر ادامه این عملیات وجود نداره. اما چنانچه رژیم صهیونیستی اقدامی را علیه جمهوری اسلامی ایران چه در خاک ما و چه در مراکز متعلق به ما در کشور سوریه یا جای دیگری انجام بده، عملیات بعدی ما بسیار بزرگتر از این انجام خواهد شد.
اون بخش از اصابت هایی که ما گزارشات دقیق و مستند و میدانی از اونها داریم نشون دهنده این است که این عملیات با موفقیتی بیش از حد انتظار ما اتفاق افتاده.
So who knows, who knows who's lying, who's, telling the truth. There was video evidence of Iran's success of the missiles in Israel. Who knows? I just so don't want to be living this. And this is what's been going on my entire life. A rabbi arrested for anti-Semitism. Okie dokie.
Really pleased to be joined on Not the Andrew Marr Show by Rabbi Jacob Weiss of the Stamford Hill community. How are you doing, Rabbi?
Fine, thank God I'm all right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You had an incident that happened with you at the weekend at the Al-Quds Day, and I'm just going to play a clip before I speak to you about this.
Why are you arresting this gentleman?
Had nothing to do with his arrest, so I don't know.
Is he arrested?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Why is he arrested?
I don't know because I haven't got if he's all right with that. Yes. If you're all right with that, we can move your car.
Sir, why have they arrested you?
Political reasons.
Yeah, well, give me the reason. What is the reason?
They said I burned a flag.
That you burned a flag? Did you?
Do you want to give them the car keys?
There's more of that video, but I just left it short. Someone was shooting a video of you. I think that's Mark Wadsworth was shooting a video of you in the van, and it says you burnt a flag. Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, every year we have a march together. Our Jewish group go with the Al-Quds March together with the Islamic Human Rights Commission, and we have a long march. And the end of the march was a rally, the speeches, and one of the events by the end of the march was that we burned the flag. Two of us burnt the flag proudly, openly, in the big screen. And later on, it seemed like the police had some kind of call from higher above, or some pro-Israel Zionist pressure to arrest us for no reason at all. It was before.
This was after. So this flag burning happened, and how long after that, when you were approached to be arrested?
Maybe about 45 minutes, something like that. Half an hour, yeah. I mean, it was nothing. Obviously, the police would be scared to come to the crowd and arrest us. When we were going away to our car, just we were rushing home for our Sabbath, then they held us up. I was telling the police, I'm nothing to hide. I'm come after our Sabbath, Sunday, Monday, when you want. I'll come to the police station and surrender myself, not a problem. But no, you're under arrest now. Without any disregard for our religion, our culture, and my wife and family are waiting at home.
So what did they say you were being arrested for?
They said that burning the flag, incitement for racial hatred. No, that's
Inciting hatred? Rabbi? Burning the flag? Hello? Any of these countries democracies? Democracy where you have free speech? No. Westerners, we have to awaken to the fact that we have all been taken over. We are already living the New World Order, cementing itself every single day, and this kind of stuff is going to get far worse. Far worse. And I hope you're ready for it. All right, the New York Police Department deploying resources to houses of worship, sensitive locations in cities. So is Los Angeles, their police department, monitoring the developments. The developments between Iran and Israel. And yeah, there could be an awful lot of false flags with attacks, let's say against synagogues or But I do think that we are looking for, we're looking at a false flag. That's going to be pretty up there like Russia had their terrorist attack. Hi, L 2024. So T-Lam, you're not the only blue person in the chat. Good to see you, Al. The U.S. Army's power to rapidly defeat enemies may be a thing of the past. Oh, when did we rapidly defeat enemies? I'd like to know. We don't rapidly defeat anything. We're still in Syria. We're still in Iraq. Did we rapidly defeat in Afghanistan? Did we rapidly defeat in Vietnam? How about Iraq? Yeah, twice Iraq. And the war is still going on in Libya. We don't leave places. How could we rapidly defeat and oh, wait a second. Maybe we do rapidly defeat to stay and steal and pillage and kill. Yeah. So I'm going to have to take another look at that headline. The West must remember how to fight. It may already be too late. Weird, huh? One of the good things about being a citizen of the West is that since the last World War ended in 1945, most men's survival has not been imperiled by the need to go and fight in massive wars. Well, speak for your own country, wherever you live, but we've had an awful lot of wars. The Americans always been shipped off to kill somebody somewhere. But the moral decrepitude and cowardice that has sunk deep into our psyches, we are too narcissistic and bored, too what is that? God, I'm losing it. Too buffed. I can't. Oh my God. Scary. And ill-focused to be collectively courageous or warlike. This has been devastating for the trajectory of the whole world in general, and catastrophic for the safety, security, and prosperity of the West. How did we get to this perilous pass? Yahoo News. You go, Yahoo. Might have been when we brought in transgenderism and had soldiers walk around with high heels, and I don't know. The world stands on the brink of all-out war. Colonel Richard Kemp. All-out war. I'm writing from Israel, where the country is tonight braced for a wave of drone attacks from Iran. The IDF warned at around 11 p.m. that at least 100 drones had been launched. Okay. Daily life has continued pretty much as normal. Well, this was before the drones hit, but I'd like to hear from one particular Israeli subscriber. But yeah, oh, and expected direct attack. So here's Gregory Mannarino. This is what an awful lot are expecting now.
Of how they work these things, here's their MO. Broadcast to the world, allowing the markets to price it in. Again, these things almost never occur during market hours. It's either weekends, which is their prime, mode of how they work these things. Here's their MO here, because it allows the market to further price in how this is going to play out. So again, you have to look back at this and say, wait a minute, why does it stuff like this happen generally? And not 90% of the times. It happens during off hours. And in this particular case, it was so telegraphed to everyone in the market. Did you see how this market's been responding as of late? This market's been smelling something for a while. How do we know that? We're watching the dollar higher on a relative strength basis. Higher. That's a fear trade. And just as you and I would have expected, we started to see cash make its way back into the perceived safety of debt. Now, these are things we're going to need to keep our eyes on here. So, tomorrow, how this market's going to respond. Now, let me just say this, too. It's complex. At the same time, it's not. If you and I understand that cash moves through these markets in predictable patterns, it allows us to stay ahead of the curve. And we've been doing this to a very, very, very high degree. No doubt about it. Okay. So, market has been, it was telegraphed to the market this was going to occur. They didn't do this by accident. Again, this was staged. It was allowed to occur when it did. Nothing is what it appears to be, always. Okay, understand that. And just the fact that these things occur, again, off market hours, on weekends, the fact that this happened, I was expecting, as you were, most of you, Friday or Saturday. Today would have been kind of tricky for this thing to get started, so it wouldn't have allowed the market to digest it a little bit. But again, they already got priced in to a large degree. So we need to see how this is going to play out tomorrow. Is it going to be a buying opportunity? That depends. Okay, here's how this... Let's just throw out a couple of hypotheticals here. Okay. This is not going to...
All right, I'm going to put the link in. I don't know, maybe I got the wrong video, maybe I started it at the wrong... I'm sorry, today was a very hard day, and maybe it was in the very beginning. Let me see.
You and me, at the end of last year said this was the year for war in 24. And let me explain this to you, and I'm sure most of you already know this. We haven't seen anything yet. We're being set up on a scale that is just off the charts here, okay? We are about to enter a whole new thing, okay? With regard to hatred, with regard to division, with regard to how this entire world is being pushed deliberately towards not just an economic disaster area for which we are in, but the scale of human suffering that we are clearly being forced to deal with here is going to get monumentally worse. You have to understand the setup here.
And it will get monumentally worse. And, I don't say this to scare anybody, but those of you who are watching, there's going to be a percentage of you who are really going to feel the suffering that comes to your door. Like a whole lot of my subscribers. When I first started this for like 2 or 3 years, people thought I was crazy for everything that I was saying. Oh, you're so negative. You have such a dark outlook on the future. years later. Very few were saying that. But I did notice the first couple of years, not a subscriber suffered the consequences. And then they started suffering the consequences. Just like I read Geofactor 3's comment. A whole lot are going to get laid off. So I hope that you have some cushion or you have some support, like family or really good friends that will help you out, that can actually help you sustain your life. Not lifestyle. Try to imagine your lifestyle drastically different and not on the upswing, but on the downswing. This is going to get, it's just going to be horrifically difficult to witness. Look at this guy. Netanyahu's son. In Miami. Israeli reservists are still questioning the absence of Netanyahu's son, who remains in Miami, due to being exempt from an Israeli draft. 32 years old, living in Florida, having a fine time. Do you think this is fair? Do you think this is fair?
All too often, I hear leaders talk about providing everyone with dignity and respect like it's an aspirational goal. That's not good enough. Dignity and respect is the bare minimum. It's the floor of where we can be. We must set our sights higher and focus on intentional inclusivity because there are still...
We have to set our goal higher. Focus on intentional inclusivity. Dignity and respect is not good enough. That's the bare minimum. We have to applaud. We have to parade. We have to hold up banners. How much we love our transgender military, trans women and trans men. No, I'm sick of it. I am so sick of it. I am so unbelievably sick of it. Whew. I mean, we Americans don't even understand dignity. They sure as hell don't understand respect. So all of that was just crap out of your mouth. This is a transgender, whatever. He's got rows of medals. I don't know. I guess I just am not very respectful. All right, Trump is a jab pusher. We'll turn on the Second Amendment. You've already seen it. Operation Warp Speed. What did Trump say about red flag laws? Take the guns first, due process later. You know, what really is remarkable is there's no difference between those Republicans who refuse to attend to all of the signs that Trump may not be your savior. No difference between those Democrats who refuse to look at all of what Obama was saying, and then what was he doing? It seemed to be the opposite. No difference between Democrats and Republicans, even ordinary people. If you're still stuck in the matrix and you're for Biden or you're for Trump, look out. Just look out for them, because they're obviously not doing what they need to be doing, and they're just expecting something. Oh, what was that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So, unbelievable. So, House Speaker Johnson destroys the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution by allowing the FBI to spy on American citizens without a warrant. And this is what he just did. And Trump throws his support behind Johnson. He's doing a really good job under tough circumstances. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, well, make sure you get on that Trump train, because that train's going to be taking a warp speed. And oop, you're going to fly off that train and kill yourself. Trump suggests offering aid to Ukraine in the form of a loan. He's such a fucking bullshit artist, too. You know, and he's constantly, well, European countries should be paying their due, and they never do, but he knows his base, and they love hearing all of the crap that comes out of his mouth, and all you have to do is watch what he actually does. And here's another lovely Western leader. British jets shot down Iranian drones, Sunak says. The non-elected prime minister. Push him right on in. Look, there is something very violent about Westerners. America's borders are wide open. Canada is already essentially gone. America can easily be hit with hundreds or thousands of drones in a single day. We have no Iron Dome and almost zero defenses against saturation drone attack, cyber attacks, and EMP, and industrial scale arson. Of the terror attacks? Haven't we lived a whole lot of that? I guess not the drone attacks, but everything else, essentially. Water and grid can be shut down, leading to almost instant famine and cannibalism. Well, if anybody engages in that, I guess they really want to survive. You ain't gonna see me engaging in that. Israel will not survive on this course. If Israel uses nuclear weapons against Iran, no Jew on the planet Earth will be safe. I don't think that Israel is going to do that, but who knows, because, well, we're really seeing our leaders kind of demonstrate an evil that we kind of knew was there, but poof, man, has it exploded. America has no borders. We are being destroyed. And yeah, a false flag attack could occur anywhere, at any time, by all of the lovelies who came across the border that hate our guts. So,
a scene that plays on repeat in this city in rural Southern Oregon.
2 and 3. Almost there. You already have your shoes on. How'd you do that? Surprise!
Volunteers help people pack up their tents and belongings. The homeless here need to move to another park to avoid being cited by police for staying in one spot for too long.
I used to love camping. I didn't mind roughing it. I loved the outdoors, and now I can't stand it anymore.
The situation's only escalating, and we're seeing more and more people unhoused, and at the same time, we're seeing more and more friction and frustration from community members on both sides.
The homelessness problem in Grants Pass shows no sign of abating, but the situation here could also dictate how cities across the country interact with people living on the streets. This month, the U.S. Supreme Court is considering a challenge by Grants Pass on federal rulings that say cities can't fine or punish people for sleeping outside if there aren't enough shelter beds available, because doing so is unconstitutional. Grants Pass is asking the justices to review those rulings and allow it to fully enforce its anti-camping laws.
If these civil or criminal penalties can be enforced, it will likely go back to a status quo of cycles of incarceration, which also facilitates cycles of homelessness.
The Grants Pass challenge of the rulings by the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has galvanized officials from across the political spectrum, ranging from the Democratic governor of California to conservative attorney generals in states such as Idaho. The tension in Grants Pass is centered in the city's parks, where many homeless live.
Families are afraid to go to the parks. And it's not just the campers or the homeless, it's the drug use and the vandalism and the excessive littering, needles on the ground, broken meth pipes on the ground. So no one wants to take the kids anymore.
Despite the growing homeless population, the city only has one overnight shelter for adults. Run by a religious group, it has rules that prevent many from living there and has only 138 beds.
So we've been paralyzed for the last few years waiting for the court case to be over, I guess. And so while we see the problem continually growing, we're not seeing resources being added to it.
Mayor Sarah Bristol says housing those living outside is an issue her hometown has to face, regardless of the way the Supreme Court rules.
People do think that the Supreme Court will overturn the decision. Maybe then we can start policing the parks again, but we still have like 200 people who have to go somewhere. And so I just don't really see how that resolves the issue.
Oh, and it's going to be an explosive issue. It's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. Now, do I feel badly for the people who want their parks back, who want their kids to be able to play in a park that's safe? Yes, I absolutely do, and they deserve it. But, you know, aside from those who maybe had a chance to get sober or get off drugs, there's an awful lot of people who are homeless, who are working full time, especially out in California. Where do they go? So, you know, I mean, I still, and not necessarily under my videos, but I still see people saying, you know, well, the homeless, they're all drug addicts and alcoholics. Wow, are people clueless, or do they just love to think that so they don't have to help them? They need help, you know, but there's a lot that are so far gone that there's nothing you can do. Kensington, you know, you go down Kensington Street in Philadelphia, and you get to see how far gone people are. Okay, but I'm not talking about them. I am talking about the people who have come across circumstances that they, no fault of their own, even if it is a fault of their own, that they're, you know, sober, not drug addicted, struggling, don't have family, don't have anybody at their back. They need help. How about the elderly that are being put out on the street? Did you hear that woman who said she loved camping? She was just about to cry.
You know, I loved the outdoors, and now I can't stand it anymore.
Her voice is cracking. Of course she can't stand it anymore. Because this is now, you know, camping is vacation. It's not vacation anymore. This has turned life. Yes, people do need help. Oh boy, and over 1,300 layoffs hit logistics companies across U.S. Texas, Florida, Illinois, Michigan, Georgia. All right. Warren, Michigan. 677 employees being laid off permanently because Universal Logistics is permanently shuttering 2 of its subsidiaries. The layoffs are related to Universal operated entities, Logistics Insights Corp, and Universal Dedicated of Detroit, auto parts, warehousing, and logistics facility. Both operations were in Detroit. Universal Dedicated of Detroit's closure will affect 230 truck drivers. Logistics Insights Corp closure includes 164 warehouse workers, 212 forklift operators, 26 dock workers, and 45 clerical employees. You think these people are going to be able to find a job? Think again. Swissport Cargo Services in Atlanta laying off 235 workers. And Swissport announced it was laying off 378 workers at a cargo handling operation at Newark Liberty International Airport. So 378. And now 235 in Atlanta. Kroger's recently announced it is cutting over 230 jobs, permanently closing delivery hubs in San Antonio and Austin, Texas, as well Miami. RXO Logistics Transportation Solutions provider, RXO, laying off 114 employees. Warren, Michigan. Packaging solutions provider, NOSCO, closing a facility in Carrollton, Texas, laying off 51 workers. Ryder is laying off 29 workers from a trucking facility in Romeoville, Illinois. We have so many people being laid off that cannot find work unless they want to work at McDonald's. Part-time, there's an awful lot of part-time service jobs. Energy prices soar almost 30% under Biden, 13 times faster than previous 7 years. And I can't. This man makes me sick to my stomach. And I know, this is not Biden. Okay, yeah, because Biden, well, very different look. The old Biden and this Biden, it's not Biden. But you know what I mean. I can't stand these people. I can't stand what has manifested here. What has manifested here. You know, I often think, what if life is about truly, it's like a learning lesson. A learning lesson. And you got to learn an awful lot about yourself, about life. Because if reincarnation is a thing, and I mean, I can't be definitive about anything, but if you don't do all of that learning, you're going to come back to the hellhole again. That's why I try to learn as much as I possibly can. Try to resolve all of the issues, because if I'm coming back and I'm going to have to do my life again, no deal. Won't do it. And yeah, wifey, is that you, boo?
You guys have to stop asking, what do you bring to the table? Because what table? Bitch, what table? You don't have a table. I don't have a table. None of us have a table anymore. Have you guys not been paying attention? The question you should actually be asking is, what do you bring to the revolution? Because even if we had a table, where are we going to put it? Where's it going to go? In the house that we can't afford, or the apartment we pay 3 times the normal price to rent from a fucking hedge fund? What goes on this table? Food that's poisonous and illegal everywhere else in the fucking world? When do we get to sit down at it? At 10 o'clock at night when we get off our second jobs because our government refuses to regulate a livable fucking wage, maybe we can have a nice conversation with our children about how they properly guess the right multiple choice answer while narrowly avoiding a fucking school shooting. We can set our hypothetical table with the fine china your mother left us after dying at age 53 of heart disease because she can't afford health care or fucking medicine for that matter. And if we're really fucking lucky, we can wheel in Gramps in between his chemotherapy treatments because he spent a lifetime eating red dye and inhaling mesothelioma. You know, we got bigger fish to fry than can you even cook? Yes, darling, yes. I can fry you up some nice carcinogen sticks and pour you some diabetic go-go juice after a long day of surviving this dystopian circle jerk. Let's focus on gender roles and not the fact that I have perfect aim with the long shot fucking rifle, because that's what matters in a society where it requires 2 incomes to eat poisonous food while living in a polarized, propagated, overpriced hellscape, right?
Well. I have to say, I like her. Not someone that would be the kind of person that I would be drawn to, you know, as like a friend or whatever. Well, I'm now just elderly. But everything she said is dead on. Dead on. We've got an awful lot of immature people who don't realize, who do not get how dark it is already. And they leave the most stupid comments, the most immature comments, and they're just playing. You can see them in the comments section. They just play. That's all. That's what they want to do, is just play. Like little kids. So, tiny home listed for $1.7 million.
Example of how ridiculously expensive the housing market still is right now.
In California in particular, as a tiny home in Cupertino is now listed for $1.7 million, and we mean tiny. This home is only 384 square feet. Wow. It's about the size of a hotel room. Real estate experts say even with that price tag, it's likely the cheapest single-family home in the area, originally built in the 1940s as a hunting cabin. The house lacks an oven or a range and has a direct link between the kitchen and the bedroom. So with all that in mind, why the high price?
An investor or a builder would look at the opportunities that this property has and, you know, build a nice 36,000 square foot home and then end up selling it for like, you know, $4 or $5 million.
Oh. Yeah, just a cool $4 or $5 million. The home is also at the end of a cul-de-sac, sandwiched in between homes worth about $5 million. As of this week, it had multiple offers.
Wow.
Gee, and you wonder why people are going homeless. California lost track of $24 billion. It wasn't 20, it's $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. Now, it is very obvious that we have what we call government. It's a criminal organization, and they just steal and steal and steal all of our money. This has been going on for a very, very, very long time in our country. The corruption is in our face. They don't give a shit. You know, and in fact, they're shitting on us. And apparently, we are absolutely fine with that because we've become so demoralized and we don't even recognize we have no respect for our own self. People are really suffering. People are really suffering because of these criminals. This guy right here. Gee, I don't know. 24 billion. Where'd it go? And sidewalk planters. And they're getting code violations. So I'm just going to play a few minutes of this, but remember when Z came to San Francisco and they got rid of all of the homeless and they put out the planters? Businesses put out planters. They get code violations for it. The same thing government did to keep the homeless away and try to pretty up San Francisco for President Xi's visit to San Francisco.
Franciscans, they were the last hope at taking some control over the sidewalks outside of their homes and businesses. Now, many are getting violation notices because the planters that they put out to deter encampments are in conflict with some city code or other. That includes a nonprofit medical provider that our Wilson Walker introduced us to last year.
So this is the problem where, they're saying that the width is not, because it's not wide enough.
For Vivica Riddell Anderson, the planters were a measure of last resort. We first introduced you to her last summer when the encampment situation on Van Ness and Larch Alleyway was complicating her work at the Pacific Vision Center, helping underserved patients from across California.
We have a lot of patients who are coming in for sight-saving care, so it's really important that they can navigate these sidewalks. So we just did what everybody else had done, and it has dramatically allowed us to now have sidewalks that people can navigate.
But now Anderson and many of her neighbors have been informed by Public Works that most of these planters are in various forms of violation.
A throughway zone that's less than 72 inches.
While those sitting along Van Ness do allow for the specified 72 inches for sidewalk accessibility, the planters here on Larch do not. But as Anderson points out, the sidewalk isn't even that wide to begin with. And the notices also reference what is in or not in the planters themselves.
So I'm just thinking, I'm a lawyer, and I find this confusing.
Bada boom. Just hit the ordinary with violations, and government officials can do whatever the hell they want to do. Authorities searching for survivors after plane crash in Southern California.
Breaking news back here at home. Authorities in San Bernardino searching for any survivors from a late Saturday night plane crash. It happened just after 8 p.m. north of Palm Avenue and Vermont Drive. The search for survivors hampered by rainy weather and difficult terrain. It is not known how many people were aboard the plane or if anyone is dead. According to Flight Radar 24, the plane took off from the Stockton Metropolitan Airport with a destination of the Chino Airport. We'll be sure to bring you any updates as this story does develop.
Another small plane crash. And this, I came across and I'm like, oh my God. Police are either not busy at all because they're just not doing anything, or they're really busy with all of what is going on in our country. And you listen to the screams, you listen to, there are so many people who are being murdered, who are being kidnapped. It's, nothing that I have ever witnessed before, I'm witnessing now, and I am witnessing it on a scale that is, I'd love to say off the charts, but it's going to be very, very, very off the charts. So I'll say it's off the charts, and it's going to get very off the charts.
This all you have? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're fixing to have press conference. I touched. Yeah, I put it underneath the collar. So. Thank you. Oh, man, we're ready. Okay, sounds good, everyone? Yes, ma'am. Okay. I am Sergeant Laquita Wade, Public Information Officer with the Birmingham Police Department's Public Information Division. And right now, our homicide investigators are investigating the homicide in the 2300 block of 18th Place Southwest. At approximately 3:18 p.m., the U.S. Marshals, along with our crime reduction team, located a burgundy vehicle inside of a wooded dead-end area. When officers arrived on the scene and entered that vehicle, they observed the victim, Nikita Davidson, inside of that vehicle deceased. Nikita Davidson is the victim of a kidnapping investigation that occurred on April the 11th of 2024 at 6th Avenue Southwest in MLK at approximately 2:11 a.m. When South Precinct officers arrived to that scene, they observed evidence that Nikita had possibly been shot. We also believe that Cedric Dwayne Robertson placed Nikita inside of her vehicle and drove it away from the scene.
Now, all of the screaming in the background is family, and they just found out. They just found out that she was found dead. Wow. I don't know, man. Watch weaponized migration in action, and we are also going to be seeing the kind of violence that Americans just are not so used to. Oh, sure, there were people who were just really insane, but when we have gangs all over the country, when we have the cartel all over the country, we're going to start seeing on an increasing basis the kinds of killings that I don't think a lot of us are ready to see. Weaponized migration. Hundreds storm Polish border from Belarus, but they're not from Belarus. They're Africa, Middle East, and yep, here they are. Come on in with your ladders, and as you can see, whole lot coming really fast in, whole lot. So, you Poles, this is so. Did Poland get a new quote-unquote leader? Because it seems like there has been a significant bad shift in policies that are being implemented in Poland. Illegal immigration costs American households hundreds of billions annually. Americans who are struggling, this is what you're paying for. You're either paying, the warmongers to kill more innocent people, or you're paying for your own demise. No matter what. No matter what. Whether it's war, whether it's to pay for the police, pay for the politicians to remain in office as they, on a daily basis, literally destroy your own life, and we pay for it? Okie dokie. British parking enforcement officer getting kneed in the face for trying to give tickets during Eid, the end of Ramadan. Violence, that's the answer. Violence. Marsha, are you talking about that woman who I really like? And she often walks around the streets and she's talking about, a lot of the politics. I can't remember her name. But if that's the one, I do like her. It's worse than you think. French official says video of migrant attacks on police banned in France. Wow.
News exclusive. 6 migrants have been injured in the latest wave of asylum seeker violence in northern France. So this latest round of attacks, caught on video obtained by GB News, erupted on a beach near Dunkirk and resulted in at least 2 of the migrants being stabbed multiple times as people smugglers tried to stop them forcing their way onto small boats, apparently without paying. So the incident at Oya Plage was followed by more violence in the same area a short time later, when police came under attack from a large group of migrants who threw stones, bottles, and other missiles at the officers. A security source said the situation in northern France was becoming extremely dangerous for French law enforcement and for the migrants. Well, it follows an incident just last week, doesn't it? In which a migrant was stabbed to death in the makeshift camp of Lune Plage near Dunkirk. We had one who'd already been stabbed on a boat on the way here the other week as well. I'm very pleased to say I am joined now by a man very much at the heart of this story. The regional councillor for the Rassemblement National and municipal councillor for Dunkirk. It is Philippe Emery. Philippe, thank you very much for joining us. How bad is the situation in Dunkirk?
I think the situation in Dunkirk is more bad than I believe, because I have to say thank you, GB News is with you. I can see those pictures. We cannot see those pictures in French. There is a kind of omerta. There is a kind of lie of the government, of the French government. And when I have been contacted by you in the afternoon, I have looked on the French newspaper and I see that there is one man who has been killed, that there are 4 migrants which have been stabbed. But I have not read that the police officer have been forced to jump back in their beach buggies and retreat, as I just have seen on your video.
And
well, if you want to watch the next 6 minutes of this video, yeah, things are getting pretty bad. And I think that we're going to see more and more censorship because they don't want people to know how bad things are. And wow, Hollywood. Oof. All right. We are collapsing right before your very eyes.
This used to be a Japanese restaurant, closed now. So this block here only has a Wells Fargo that's open, then everything else is closed. These are 4 in a row. This used to be a bar, it says Baja Beach Bar, all boarded up, bunch of trash. This place right here is also vacant. We're in Hollywood, California today. We're walking Hollywood Boulevard, very well known for the movie industry, where a lot of you come and say, pay a visit to Hollywood Boulevard. This place is dying. They should.
And it sure is. Watch this video. This is Mental Leo, and I have recommended that you subscribe because he takes walks along the streets of a lot of cities in California where you can see that collapse right before your very eyes. Hollywood, okay. It's not just 5G, Genesis. You know, it's electromagnetic frequencies cause stress. The economy causes a whole lot of stress. Losing one's job, becoming homeless. There's an awful lot of factors that make people chronically stressed. And that kind of stress can lead to a regression where people are acting or behaving on a base level, which is generally violent. Now, does 5G also accelerate everything that we were living with 4G. A whole lot of people are so focused on 5G, as if 4G was safe. Not at all. Not at all. They just bumped us up to another dangerous level with 5G. Trump, everything Biden touches turns to shit. Wow. I thought I was on video. Fortunately, I'm not, because you'd get scared looking at me. This is your statesman savior, Republicans.
They're not wrong. He's done everything wrong. Think of it. We've been in this mess together for 3.5 years. Only a little more than 6 months until that most important day in the history of our country, November 5th. Think of that. But what has he done that's good? Nothing. Has anything that he's done turned out? Everything he touches turns to shit.
That's how low we are now. And listen to the crowd. Not saying I support Biden. I think most of you know I don't. Okay. I don't support anyone in the uniparty. But really? Yeah, he's going to turn things around for you. We just have the lowest of the low. And they're criminals. And they're doing nothing for us. Nothing. Operation Warp Speed. Who's the guy who rolled out 5G? Trump. Yay. Bioengineering. Trump. Oh my God. And then I have people who say, well, he got us out of the Paris Accord. Did he? Or did he just say that? The Paris Accord has been implemented all along. Look at what's going on in your state. Look at what's going on in your city. How about the C40 cities? How about all of the mayors who are climate change mayors? How about all of the governors, the mayors, government officials who are implementing an international treaty when the only person who has the authority to do that, the president signs, and it's ratified by Senate. He didn't get us out of Paris Accord. It's being implemented. TPP, remember that? Trans-Pacific Partnership, years and years ago. We were all on it. Oh my God, corporations are taking away the sovereignty. They're going to be the ruling. They'll be ruling over governments, and they can do whatever the hell they want, and governments can't sue them, and yada yada. Trump got us out of TPP. Oh, really? Have you not noticed? Have you not noticed that corporates rule? He just says what you want to hear. It's amazing. Just like Obama said what the Democrats wanted to hear. Now Trump saying what you want to hear. But it doesn't seem that very many people are interested in what he does or what he does not do. Did he ever hold accountable all of the mayors and the governors who are implementing an international treaty? When he supposedly said no to that international treaty? No, you didn't hear anything about that. Ay. All right. Once again, the link is in the chat. And here is Sabrina Wallace talking about Lavender, the AI Lavender the Israelis using to target Palestinians. AI. I'm going to play It's 6:40, I guess 10 minutes of this. If you don't understand it, click on the link, go over to Synergy on Odyssey, and listen closely. What you will pick up is how controlled the population is already.
What is Project Maven and how does it work? This is the sign that I made before, and this is for the video that I'm about to post. Electronic Integrated Disease Surveillance System. Anything that puts you on the internet, and they can use anything to connect to you. I'm going to read these to you now. Your internet service provider. They log in through the same wireless you got with your modem. A satellite, an unidentified vehicle like a drone. Your Wi-Fi, the LiDAR, they're from your Wi-Fi. Synchron and SynBio, people who have already augmented, they have chips in their head, or they have Synchron, Stentrode, carbon nanotubes. Then you have infrared, wireless sensor networks floating around. You have brain-to-brain. You have the personal area network. You have specialized MAC IDs written just for your DNA, and that's changing on the physical layer as well, rather than a network layer, a different way to get it in. Nano peer-to-peer. Wireless sensor networks, again, that are ad hoc, meaning someone got close enough to you with another body, lit them up. Then you have your front haul and back haul. Anything that is on the internet is not secure. Anything that is on the internet has to have cybersecurity. The government watches the wireless body area networks, but as with all things that are on the internet, they can be hacked. Who is using these information surveillance and reconnaissance systems? The medical with the M-band, medical body area network, sheriff, police people, and lawfare with your Stingray and your Dirtbox, wireless body area network, cognitive body area network, body sensor area network, and of course your main military, all 5 branches, SOSA and MOSA, CMOS and OSA, and your paramilitary BlackRock Geospatial. Why don't you know about it? This is Lavender AI, but for us in the States, it's called Project Maven. If you're pissed off that they were able to target somebody by their ethnicity, their religion, then why in the hell are you defending anybody who keeps spinning around here in our country, claiming, oh, there's a kill box. Yep, there is. How does it work? It's the last page of the Synergy Techmetric PDF. How does it work? Computer networking through the human body. Where's the W band? Oh, it's a bioweapon. Yeah, it's domestic terrorism with a bioweapon using a kill box. Where do we get that information from? A paralegal. Oh, okay. You're one of the people that knows about the system for surveillance and reconnaissance. It's probably why you know about the kill box. It's domestic terrorism. It's the PACS database. You mean Integrated Disease Surveillance System? Yeah, we know. But you left out the wireless body area network. You always do. Then you tell people there's no internet of bodies. And you spin everyone in a circle telling them it's a bioweapon. Tell me how they get the bioweapon into you. Tell me how they get it under your skin. Every single time. You're going to need the biomedical telemetry, okay? Well, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I know. The drone can hunt you down by bioelectromagnetic algorithms tethered to something called the human biofield. It is formerly known as the Aura. I tried everything I knew how to get your preppers and your people to stop lying and dancing around and pretending this system didn't exist for 60 years. And they decided it would be better to leave everyone totally blind with an ambush. So it's not a vaccine if it requires graphene. Those are metamaterials. But whether you're vaccinated or not, we have been using this system for 60 years. We are flooding the air particulate every day with more types of radar chaff and different types of metamaterials in the atmosphere for people, humans, that are already augmented. Got a little more metamaterials and neurotoxins running through their veins and arteries than you do. They're not going to tell you that. Just like they won't even admit to you that we're using human body communication. That's why this dude is glowing green. We're not using the big radio frequency bubbles anymore. Your body is the transmission medium. So I'm going to ask it again. Where are the biosensors in your kill box discussion? Where's the biomedical telemetry? It's great to know there's a kill box. How are you aiming and firing? Lavender AI. Well, here I've got an energy harvesting protocol right here. And I've got two bodies. One is from Gaza and one is Israeli. Excuse me. One is Hamas and one is Israeli. And then I changed the bioelectromagnetic algorithm to only take out the Hamas people, even if they're standing right next to each other. Well, in your slaughter bots on the YouTube, that's exactly how it works. Because that's exactly how it works. Because that's exactly how it works. Because that's exactly how it works. 150 years of lying to everybody about all this stuff, and they don't want to tell, because if people know too soon, then I don't know. I still don't understand this at all, but whatever. You got to know that your body is being targeted by your own DNA. And the only way to gain accountability from anybody, for those of you that do believe in lawfare and they're talking about FISA and they're alleging they're going to do something with Pelosi, whatever, none of that is going to help you. All that takes time, and you're not in DC right now, are you? No. So you need to know that this is your body. It's right there, body area network attached to the cloud to everything on the internet. Full stop. There's security involved, but the bigger problem that we have is running out there and telling people bits and pieces of this information, leaving out the biomedical telemetry, and instead telling humans, Pfizer updated your body now. You needed to be augmented. You needed an electrical field. Your heart wasn't electrical before Pfizer came along and injected you. You buying that? Most people know that's total bullshit. Been electrical lifelong. So in the same way, if you're going to get worked up out there about the Israeli AI and you're horrified and you're like, oh my God, how is that possible? We write bioelectromagnetic algorithms for your DNA. This is the Synergy Tech Metric PDF. It has everything in it that you need to have this discussion. And then you say, well, they're using little remotes to make the drones do what they do. Logging into you wirelessly. Oh, but they just started doing it. Nope. Since 1995, everything you see in this box, and this is a machine learning reference, they're able to do, reaching right through you. Medical Body Area Network mandated in 2014 to save the hospitals money. We don't have time anymore for little crybaby games in which we want to defend people, whether they're our friends or not. You either admit what you're doing with your graphene healthcare and having everyone's ass connected to the cloud since 1995, with specialized cybersecurity at 3 levels, usually 4, or else I don't want to deal with you because you don't know about World War III. You're still living in 1995. You don't want to learn. You just want to stand there and wait for someone to come collect your resources.
I'm going to put the link in again. We don't have time. We don't have time. You want to focus on Trump? Oh, he said that everything turns to shit and I love him. Oh, okay, great. You want to talk about, yeah, well, we have to file lawsuits against whomever. That takes enormous amounts of time. They'd love it if you did that. It's, oh, and also, I forgot to mention, so Trump pulled us out of TPP. I won't go for that. It was Trump who gave the telecommunication industry, all of the companies, the power to usurp local power. You can put them up anywhere. You don't have to listen to those local government officials. That was Trump. So, and Trump loves all of this technology. He loves it. So when the Democrats say that he's going to be a dictator, they're all dictators. Trump is definitely playing his role. Playing his role. So for the person who asked, her channel is on Odyssey. And if there's any possible way of escaping this electromagnetic madness, then listen to some of these videos, because they want us talking about an awful lot that I'm talking about now, for sure, but I, for 13 years, posted a shitload of my research on all of the electromagnetic frequencies and the control that they have over us, the physical control, the emotional control, the mental control, the psychic control, the spiritual control. And we need to take this seriously. So, all right, guys. Live honestly. Speak honestly. That entails doing work on yourself. The self-reflection that a whole lot of people, I'm just fine. I'm fine and dandy. Resolve those issues that you fling about when you get really stressed. So you're not flinging them about, hurting other people. Establish yourself as a trustworthy human being. We're out of time for that, for sure. But again, I'm going to say, if you don't know yourself, you're a sitting duck for them to take you over. And don't think that they can't. So, I do hope that all of you stay safe, that you help out in your communities, because that is critical. It's critical. It is critical. Yeah, we need to help one another. So, thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow night. And on that note, good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.